La 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 la. Giving you a chance, girl, to do what you need to do. Go, 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 garage man, know what I'm talking about. What if I turn this down? Now what? Okay, go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Hi. Welcome back to another episode of Getting It Together. Sorry, I literally was just kind of cracking up because I was thinking about how like Tina Belcher, I don't know if anyone watches, or I guess if anyone watches, Friends and Lovers. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen Bob's Burgers, but Tina does this thing where if she's like starting to panic, she literally is like, huh, 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 huh. Like, it's so weird, but it's like so funny. And I'm just like, girl, you know what? That's real, actually, because no, like that's just real. So yeah, thinking of her today, hashtag thinking of Tina today. Like, I haven't seen Bob's Burgers in a while. Anyway, hello. Not to like start with a digression, I'm trying a bunch of new things right now / this week, so and wait. Okay, yeah, I'm trying a new I'm trying a bunch of new things this week / right now, and I just mean like new things with how I'm like recording this. So I don't know how this is sounding, don't know how this is looking. I'm kind of trying to put some trust into, honestly, GarageBand, but she's looking like she's about to PMO TBH. Yeah, we're just gonna see. Because I'm just like, I wonder if I'm actually gonna just briefly do research on if I should be using this feature really quickly, because as we all know, this is my first time doing this and I'm doing it by myself. So yeah, I'm kind of just trying to figure out like what the right settings are to get like consistent audio. So 1 second, because I'm kind of irritated at how GarageBand is like, I'm gonna just look this up real quick. So basically there's a feature. Wait. Yeah, no, not gonna do it. 1 sec. Okay. Testing. Yeah, so there's this feature where I'm kind of glad that I turned that shit off because it was making me irritated. And I definitely can get behind using an automated feature in a something. However, there's like a few things where using like auto anything is just irritating. Like if you deal with, I don't know, cameras, or like, I guess in this case I'm using like audio equipment, but for example, one thing that I hate about using the autofocus feature on cameras is that like that shit literally does show on a trotting horse. Like, you can actively see the camera self-correcting and autofocusing. So like if you're moving or if things are happening, like, and maybe I just like pay too close attention, but if it's like big, you can like literally like see you can see the correction happening in real time, which is irritating because it shows as something being in focus in the background, for example, and then it'll be like out of focus, and then you'll kind of like see the camera struggling to figure out if it should be in focus or out of focus, and then it's just like the background is like warped and being in focus and then being out of focus at the same time. That's really annoying. So GarageBand has this feature where you essentially can do automatic level control to control your recording level. And I've never used that before. Like, I don't use that. I mean, granted, I've only done like 10 of these, but I just don't be using that shit because, I don't know, it never occurred to me, and I didn't know what it meant, to be honest. And so I was just watching this video about like polishing your audio levels and blah, blah, blah. And this guy recommended using the automatic level control feature. But literally, as I was recording, even just like that first 1 minute, 4 minutes ago, like it was giving me, like it just kept changing. And I was like, this already is gearing up to be not regular. Like I can tell I'm going to be editing this and it's going to sound like a bunch of different levels, because it looked like a bunch of different levels. Like the audio would peak and then it would come back down and then it would go lower. And I don't know how that sounds, but the way it looked was irritating to me. So had to cut it. Anyway, welcome back. We're here, and cute episodes start now. We're here, and honestly, like, I had to stop what I was doing to do this because I was having a thought spiral, and I feel like this is my attempt to put an end to the thought spiral that I was having, which, can I even describe the thought spiral that I was having? I can't even really describe it, but it was just, I guess, surrounding, you know thought spirals that just happen when you're young and you don't really know what you're doing with your life, and you're thinking about all of the things that you could be doing and all of the things that you want to be doing, and like all of the things that you have time for but don't have time for. In my case, like I feel like I have all the time in the world, but there's so many things, and then I get like analysis paralysis because there's too many things. And that's just something that I struggle with personally. So yeah, I was just having that, and I think actually, never mind. I'll get back to that. But point is, I was having that experience, and I was literally thought spiraling so hard that I kind of just told myself, you know what, girl, just go do something else. Like, just go do something else. Because what I was actually going to do was make avocado toast, but I couldn't, when you're just anxious and you can't eat? Yeah, I was having that experience. I was anxious and I couldn't eat. I started making my avocado toast on whole food sourdough, and I don't know, it was making me queasy. So honestly, I stopped what I was doing, and I decided we're here. So yeah, also I'm going to be taking more pauses because I am trying to say filler words less. So if it feels like my dialogue is a little stilted, it's probably because of that, because I'm taking the time to actually think about what I'm saying. What a concept. So yeah, anyway, speaking of concepts, I'm trying something new. As stated earlier, I'm trying just new things this week. So new settings, flop, right? But another thing that I'm trying is the concept of like a run of show and consistency. So we're going to try out strict timing and having just a run of show and a run of events, because how I've done these so far is I have something that's weighing heavily on my heart when I sit down, so I can just get right into it, but then I end up ranting, and I think I'm just doing too much. Well, no, I don't think I'm doing too much, but the thing is, I would just like to have some more organization among the topics that I'm speaking about. So, yeah, concept of run of show, we're introducing that this week. And with that being said, Halloween is upon us-ish. Halloween is upon us. And Halloween, oh my gosh. So for anyone that doesn't know me, or for anyone that does know me, because perhaps like there are some new friends and lovers in the chat, I fucking love Halloween. Halloween, honestly, no. And I should be honest, I love anything that is just themed, period. Anything on earth, you could literally throw a theme on that bitch and I'm signing up. I'm like, okay, honestly, like, where can I take my firstborn child to participate in this experience? Deadass. Like, I love anything themed. I think that a huge reason why I'm so obsessed with Harry Potter is because it has such a strong world. And then, like, honestly, it was over when I went to Universal Studios Orlando and went to Hogwarts. That was what really, me trying not to say like, me, like, that was really, what's that thing that girl, wait, what's the thing? What did Amaya Papaya say? Because low key, it was giving Amaya Papaya. But not too much on her. Because, you know what? That's my Dominican sister, I guess. What the fuck did she say? Gratitually. She said gratitually. Yeah, no, so it was giving, it just put me over. Going to Hogwarts put me over the edge. If I wasn't a Harry Potter person before that just converted me. Like, that fully, like, put me in the church of, yeah, that just put me in the church of Harry Potter. But that being said, I'm obsessed with Halloween. Because what's not to be? Halloween and Christmas, honestly. And they're the only, and actually, because you know what? Valentine's Day is another one that has a really strong theme, but it's not as, no, actually, that wouldn't be fair to say. Because you can give Valentine's Day, I feel like, arguably could be perceived as having as strong of a cultural, no, not cultural, but actually, yes, like as strong of a cultural presence as Halloween. Not to say that it's as celebrated as Halloween, because I think that those two things are different. I will say, though, I think just the fact that we have so much romance, and we have romantic books, and we have romantic films, and I'm saying it in that, like, I'm speaking about it in that sense of the word, that I think Valentine's Day has the potential to be something as grand as Halloween is. But Halloween obviously is still that girl. Another one that I think has potential, though, is St. Patrick's Day. I love St. Patrick's Day. I just love it because it's green, and it's so much fucking green. And honestly, I think if we leaned in, that shit could be so tea. So yeah, shout out St. Patrick's Day, because when I was a child, that was my favorite holiday, literally exclusively just for the fact that it was green. And I think I've always loved like that shade of emerald green. But yeah, it's Halloween season. It's Halloween season. It's Halloween season, and honestly, I could be doing more. But I fucking love Halloween, and I'm currently obsessed with, I'm reading, oh my gosh, no. Actually, I won't even get into that yet, but I'm currently obsessed with, I don't know who knows or has heard of Hazbin Hotel, but there's this show called Hazbin Hotel. This is a whole verse, by the way, and I discovered it, I think, like a few years ago. Gosh, because on the topic of themed things, it's just so good. It's so strongly themed. And I think that's why I'm so obsessed with it. But literally, like, there's a very strict color palette, very strict animation style, very strict character design. It is just so good. And I didn't know that it was so good. Like, I knew about it. So to rewind, I knew about it because I guess the pilot has been circulating on YouTube for, I want to say 5 years maybe. And I think because it's been circulating for so long, it's had the chance to grow this like massive cult following. And I encountered it for the first time probably in like 2022, maybe even 2021. Encountered it though. I didn't dig too deep, but I saw it and I was like, okay, like honestly, this looks cool, but I wasn't as deep in my bag yet. I was not. Like, the craze had not taken me over at that point in time. So I saw it And I remember seeing it and being intrigued, but not even really looking into it past that. Even though I will say I've always been very, very into animation and very fascinated with animation and like digital art in general. But for some reason, maybe just because life was happening in 2021, I don't know. We were also in COVID, question mark. So yeah, that was happening. And then encountered it again in 2023. And I remember this time because I watched the pilot on YouTube and I was like, oh, this is great. Because I think that's when they announced, if I'm not mistaken, I think 2023 might be like when they announced they were getting, no, no, there's like a phase of it that I'm missing that came after that because it was not that early in the process. That had already happened. I remember like the part of them getting picked up had already happened. So I think maybe I'm thinking of the phase where they complete the series. Okay, no, yeah. So 2023, they announced that they were premiering like the show. And I think it's 2023 when they started teasing because I guess at that point the show had been produced and it had been picked up. I think it was picked up by A24. I don't know if it was picked up by A24 first, the studio, for those who that didn't immediately click with, but I don't know if it was picked up by A24 first and then it went to Amazon, like A24 took it to Amazon, or if it was picked up by A24 and Amazon at the same time. Like I don't really know. But what I do know is it got picked up and then they started teasing that the actual series was done and that it was going to premiere like on a streaming service essentially by whatever. I think it did premiere in 2023 if I'm not mistaken. So I saw that trailer or teaser, not even a trailer actually. It was literally a teaser. The tease was literally just a date announce. But it looked so fucking cool. It just looked so fucking cool. It was a website it was like a hotel themed website, but it was all done in this specific animation style. And it was literally just a date announce website, period. That's it. They didn't give us shit. And I don't even know how I found the link or how I even came upon it. I think I saw a headline on my Google app, because you know when Google gives you those headlines. I saw a headline on my Google app and then I clicked over to the article or whatever talking about it and I was like, OMG, like that's that YouTube shit, whatever, the fucking YouTube trailer or the YouTube pilot that I saw. And then in that article, they had the link to the date announce teaser, quote unquote, which took you to this website. And it was like a legitimate hotel website, but all done in the animation style that the show is done in, like that art style. Excuse me. All done in that art style. And I remember being like, oh, I feel like this is about to be so good. I just felt like it was about to be so good. So then there was a section on the website where you could sign up preliminarily to be the first to know, quote unquote, like first to know whatever the fuck is happening or when the trailer drops. Because I think at that point the trailer hadn't even dropped yet. So of course I signed up for email alerts. Got the trailer, was like, oh, this shit is so fire. Then rewatched the pilot, and that kind of kicked off the obsession because the pilot was still like publicly freely available. It's still on YouTube, by the way, but it was still on YouTube. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so, I'm so excited for this because I love shit like this. And then yeah, the shit came out. I will say when it initially came out, I think I watched it through the first time and I was really annoyed that it was a musical because I didn't remember the pilot on YouTube being a musical. So that threw me off because it felt like the music was just too layered on thick at the time. I don't know what was going on in my life because the thing is, I love musicals. Okay, first and foremost, like let's just get that sorted. Like I literally love musicals, so I don't know why I was being such a hater hoe, but I remember watching it when it first premiered and watching the whole season and being like, this is fine, but this shit is kind of shitty because it just feels like the music is being forced down our throat. Like, I was such an asshole about it. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, they're really pushing this whole music agenda. Like, this is not cute. I'm not vibing with this. And finished it, whatever. Wasn't thinking twice about it. Fast forward, here we are, like literally 2 years later after the premiere of the first season. Second season is about to come out. I remember not liking the first season. So because I remember not liking the first season, of course, I'm not thinking I'm going to watch the first season. I'm like, oh, like second season's coming out, but whatever. However, Amazon recently, I guess, acquired the rights to this this verse has a spinoff. Or I don't know if it's a spinoff or if it came before. So, but I know it's in the same verse. But this verse basically has a side series that takes place in the same world called Hell of a Boss. So Hazbin Hotel is like the first one, and Hell of a Boss is the second one. And I guess Amazon recently got the rights to all of the previous existing Hell of a Boss media, and then also like is now funding the next, I think, like 2 seasons, I think, that are left. Or maybe there's 1 season left. I don't know. But I saw it pop up on Amazon and I was like, there's that shit I love. There's that art style that I love. Let me just see what they're talking about. And I kid you not, I sat there and I think I watched that shit in like the fastest time that I could have. I watched it in less than a day. All of it. The whole thing. I just sat and I just binged it. Fast forward, here we are. I'm like, literally felt after binge watching it, felt like I couldn't be without it. You know when you watch some shit and you're like, wow, like bring me back. I can't be without this. Which I actually have another show like that recently ended that I'm pissed off about. But we'll get there. But yeah, watched all that shit. Was so obsessed, sat down, literally watched it again. Like literally just watched it again on my own. So now we're in 48 hours, 2 full season watch throughs. Okay, great. I'm like, okay, you know what? Like this is cool and all. However, and also, or actually wait, brief pause because let me explain the premise of these shows. So the first one is, so basically, Hazbin Hotel follows the quote unquote princess of hell. Her name is Charlie. She's very sweet. She's like really cutesy. She has a bust down blonde. Like she's just cutesy. And she's, I guess, the daughter of, and this is for people who are into like ology, like mythology, or I don't know what to call it. Cause I guess this world, whatever this world is so interesting, but I just don't know like what to even refer to it as, because I guess it is a form of mythology, so I guess I'll say mythology. But yeah, it basically follows this like girl Charlie, and she creates a hotel in hell to rehabilitate sinners so that their souls can be saved and they can like go to heaven, basically, is like the premise of the show. So smart, by the way. It's so smart. It's so good. It's so well done. The characters are so interesting. Like, it's just so good. But yeah, that's the premise for Hazbin Hotel. And then this spin-off series basically follows, or it's not a spin-off, I guess, but it's within the same world, basically follows another group within hell. And they're like a group of demon assassins who their whole business is taking requests from people who are in hell to kill people in the living world, essentially as like a form of like revenge or like reparations or whatever. So it's like a demon assassin agency that are taking on jobs from souls in hell to kill people in the living world. That's like the premise of the second series. So anyway, I'm already on my second watch through of this shit. I decide to rewatch Hell of a Boss because I'm like, you know what? not to rewatch Hell of a Boss, to rewatch Hazbin Hotel. I decided to rewatch Hazbin Hotel just because I'm like, you know what? Let's just give her a shot and see what she's talking about. Because maybe it's just not like as bad as I remember, which again, I don't remember it being bad. I really don't remember it being bad. I just remember not liking how much music there was because it felt like it was forced down my throat. But I think because I was so desperate for it this time, I just wanted to be back in that world so bad. I didn't even notice that shit. I literally watched it in a day. Like, I watched all of it in a day. I was obsessed. I was like, girl, first of all, why were you hating so hard last time? Because there's not even that much music in the show for real. Like, it's literally not even giving full musical, like full song and dance tease. Like, it has a few musical numbers, I guess, but it's not even nothing crazy. So, yeah, that shit is good. Literally got my hair braided after I finished Hazbin Hotel. And my braider also likes like adult animation because this is all like adult animation, by the way. And gosh, this is all adult animation, but what this really is this is some shit made by a fan. Because you know how, and if you're a fan, then you know fans. Like, you just know, like, there's regular people who like things, and then there are people who are like active participants in stan culture and like internet fandom, and those are different groups. There's the normal group and then there's the not normal group. The person who made this show has to have been a part of has to be still, actually, because I don't know anything about her, but I'm sure that she is still a fan. Like, it's like she is a fan girl down. Like, she is a fan bitch, and I can just tell because I just know the language of my people. Like, I know the language of my people, and you can tell that this shit was a fan making like her dream project essentially, like, for other fans. Like, that this world is so just like wacky and like so like fleshed out and so like unique. It's just so good. Everything about it is just so good, and it's so intentional, and you can just tell that it was made for fans. Like, it was just made for fans. So yeah, enough on that, because I could go on about it all day, but that is like what I'm obsessed with, what is reminding me of Halloween. Back to the topic of Halloween, by the way, because I'm like currently in the process of trying to figure out what I'm going to go as. And I feel like I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about like going back to the classics. And I feel like I want to be a ballerina, low key, like a ballerina. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, like a classic pink ballerina, pink leotard, like baby pink leotard, baby pink tutu, baby pink satin flats, like pink tights, like that type of ballerina. I just feel like that's so cute and fun, and that's classic. And do people even dress as ballerinas for Halloween? No, like they always dress like Black Swan, which is great because I did consider, and I'm still considering, being Black Swan. But like, I don't know, something about a ballerina, I don't know why when they were talking about going back to the basics in Halloween costumes, that is what stuck out to me. I think it's because I would dance when I was a child. But something about it, that just seems kind of fire. So, I don't know, thinking I'm going to go as a ballerina, but also can't wait to have the resources to do like a full install costume, like 10-piece vintage, like DIY, like go get and when I say full install, like I literally mean like go get my fucking wig installed, like, or if I need a fucking bald cap, get that shit installed, literally on my Heidi Klum. Because when I can go dressed as, I don't even know, literally giving the girls like Elphaba, full form, full green, black lace front, bust down 18 inches, like, honestly, because wait a minute, because honestly I could go. Because right now I have those fuck ass Elphaba braids, which not too much on that because I didn't even realize that I felt like they were fuck ass until I just called them that. But when I think about it, I'm like, why did they give Elphaba those fuck ass braids and they were so stiff? Like, I just wanted them to love her more. But I also know that Cynthia Erivo was like bald. So if it was a braid wig, then fine. Like, that's different. But if it was like braids on her, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been a braid wig. Like, it may have been a braid wig, but still, like, that stiff ass shit. I was so irritated. I was like, y'all had all the budget in the world and y'all put my girl in these stiff braids. Okay. And for what? Don't really know. But okay. Because on a bald head, you can really install anything you want, to be honest. Which, speaking of installing shit on a bald head, I have literally been watching, because I'll get to this in a second, but I've literally been watching so much Drag Race. Like, ooh, I just love Drag Race. That shit is so good. But anyway, because I'm going to get to that in a second, but let me, to wrap up this Halloween conversation, because I do have black bust down braids right now, so I could go as Elphaba. But I don't know, something about like being green for real just doesn't seem fun. And then what, that fuck ass dress that she had on, which again, like, Elphaba wears a fuck ass dress in the original Wicked production. I know this and I remember it because I saw the original Wicked production 4 times. Okay, not the original production, but like Wicked the production on Broadway or like off Broadway before the movie came out. That's what I mean by that. But something about it, like, I'm like, there's just nothing cute about it, but I'm like, the green could be fun. And that's a thought that did just occur to me. So yeah, I don't know, ballerina or Wicked maybe. But then I'm like, who's gonna be Glinda? Maybe I'll ask one of my girlies. Maybe, I don't know, because I'm like, oh, but Glinda looks like a ballerina, so maybe I could be Galinda. No, actually, I don't know, but I'm gonna think about it. But point being, I'm so happy that it's the season, and I actually have preliminarily decided that I'm going to continue celebrating spooky season until December 1st. So, that being said, if you see me or encounter me, I'm hella going to keep asking you to come to horror movies. I'm going to keep watching scary shit or spooky shit or camp shit. I cannot get through the content fast enough on any of these streaming services. I won't lie. I've also been reading like spooky books. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about it. I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm so excited. I only wish it was like more festive in my area. What I really wish is that I could decorate my house, but my parents don't play that. But what I really want to do is like fully decorate this shit spooky and leave the decorations up like the way that you literally leave your Christmas ass decorations up like until February 1st. Like, I don't know, something about that seems really fun, just having it decorated Halloween for Thanksgiving, low-key. But yeah, I don't know, they wouldn't buy it. I guess I feel like the best I can do is buy pumpkin cookies, like not pumpkin flavored cookies, but like the pumpkin sugar cookies that are shaped like a pumpkin, that are bright orange, that literally are made of like flour, sugar, and red 40 dead ass, like those, which I have already had a container of those, by the way, this month. So yeah, and then maybe I'll also buy like a really cute festive candle from like Anthropology or something, because I know they have like really cute Halloween. Gosh, if you haven't seen the Halloween section, actually I can't remember if it's Anthropology or if it's Free People, but I think it's Anthropology because they have the home decor. But if you have not seen the Halloween shit from Anthropology, it could literally make a Halloween person out of like the least Halloween person that ever never celebrated Halloween. Like, it just yeah, 'tis the season. I'm like, 'tis the season, seriously. But yeah, back to Drag Race. I'm wondering what that's about, because I have been watching it like it's like serious television, and I know that the people who love Drag Race would argue that maybe it is serious television. I feel like reality TV in general just can't be serious television. Like, I don't know, but and I really don't watch a lot of reality TV. Like Drag Race might be like the sole exception. It's been years since I've watched any form of reality TV because I just find it kind of irritating as a thing. But I think Drag Race is just different because obviously like that concept, Drag Race, and also like there have been some more interesting ones coming out lately that kind of have me like, oh. But I just think that the concept in general kind of irritates me that like I'm watching regular people do regular people shit instead of just doing my own shit in my life, you know? But the difference with Drag Race is that it's not regular people doing regular people shit. It's literally fucking drag queens. And like they all have such really interesting, like, they just have such interesting personal histories. They have such interesting personal stories. They've like overcome adversity. There's just a whole thing. And I feel like their stories are interesting stories. And just like the queer community in general, I feel like we don't get a lot of media that really, really dives into like that all, like all of those aspects of it, and the performance and the insecurities and the interpersonal relationships. Like all of it is just so interesting. So yeah, I've been watching Drag Race, but I do feel like I might be, I don't know, I say this with a grain of salt maybe, and we'll figure out if it's actually a grain of salt. But it kind of feels like I might be running from something, because I will say I have been stuffing my face with media for like the past week, because like I just said, Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel have like literally rewatched 3 times. Did I say that I made my braider watch Hell of a Boss? That I made my braider watch. That I made my braider watch. Sorry, you know when you say something and that shit literally sounds like you're speaking like not the Queen's English, dead ass, it just sounds wrong. That's what that was just giving. But yeah, I did make her watch Hell of a Boss and she loved it too. But I did do also another full rewatch with her over like the 12 hours that I was getting my hair braided. So that being said, I've been doing that. I've been watching all this Drag Race. I've been watching that shit. I've been reading book after book. Like I've literally been doing everything except, well, actually, but I don't know if that's even true, because I was going to say I've been doing everything except creating. But I wonder if, because what I haven't been doing, for example, is I haven't been on social media like in weeks. I haven't been posting. I haven't been watching. I don't even really open links that people send me because I just don't feel like it. But I also don't want to like go down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean? But I think that like, I'm wondering if maybe it's not that I'm consuming more than maybe an average person with internet access, but if I feel more aware of it, just because I'm becoming more aware, just like the way that I'm trying to structure my life. I'm trying to be really intentional about creation versus consumption, right? And I'm wondering if it just feels like I'm stuffing my face because I'm just more aware of the fact that when I'm consuming, I'm not creating. You know what I mean? Like, and I think any person who like creates or like knits but any person who does any sort of creative anything can probably relate to this. But it's like, once you become like, there's before you realize that you're over consuming and that your consumption to creation ratio is literally like 80-20. There's before that, right? And then there's after you realize that. And I think after you realize that, it becomes really, really hard to just like sit down and like sit still and enjoy things. So yeah, I don't know, but I think kind of a part of that for me, at least, especially like because I'm building all of this from scratch and like everything that I'm doing, I'm just doing from scratch. Like it's just me, like, you know what I mean? And there's this overwhelming feeling of okay, well, now it's just me and the rest of my life, which I don't know if I've spoken about this before. Like, we're still obviously very early days, but there's just like nothing standing really between me and just forever now that I'm in this predicament. Like, I've already, like I said, like, I've already hit what I consider to probably be like a low in terms of just my career and like my lifestyle. And I think there's literally nothing to do now but just build. And I think because of that, the options feel so daunting. Like, they just feel so daunting. And it's really hard to like self regulate and to like make sure you're spending the right amount of time on creation, and make sure you're not doom scrolling, and make sure you're not wasting too much time on exercise or wasting like, but it's like it I don't know, like, and not even wasting too much time on exercise, but just like spending too much time doing things that you don't want to be doing. Or, which, I mean, fitness is a huge part of my life, and if you know me in my personal life, then you know that like that's a whole other thing and like a whole other conversation, because I've had like an everlasting and like at this point like going on like 6 years of fitness journey that I've been on. But yeah, it's just like not knowing how to balance your life, and because there's no sense of structure to it, it makes it 10 times harder, because no one is telling you how to do it, or like no one is making the structure for you. I feel like I have said something about this before, but yeah, like no one's made the structure for you. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like kind of in a weird place with my consumption right now, because to me it feels like I'm over consuming, but then when I like hear people speak about what they're consuming and how much of it they're consuming, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what, maybe I'm not over consuming. Maybe I'm just hyper aware of like every single moment that I am not doing something, like creating something. And like obviously like that makes it really hard to rest, and that makes it really hard to recharge, and that it makes everything just kind of feel not right or not good enough or not like I'm doing enough. And that's kind of the balance that I'm trying to strike here and that I can't really figure out. So yeah, that's what we're on. So when I say like I wonder what I'm running from because I feel like I've been stuffing my face with media for the past week, that's what I'm talking about. But maybe I'm not running from anything. I think I'm just figuring it out, and I feel like that's fine. I feel like honestly part of making it an easier transition is taking the time to do this and like have all this time and do whatever, but it just doesn't feel like enough. I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't feel like enough. Like if I'm not just doing shit all the time, it feels like not like I'm not doing enough, but then that makes me anxious, right? So then like out of anxiety, I'm just like doing shit like watching a fucking whole season of Drag Race, and then by the end of it, I'm like, okay, like that was fine, but now what? Like I feel sick. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyway, on that note, I did start a new anime, and gosh, something about anime, like I just love it. I was literally obsessed from the first 5 minutes. It was just sweet. Love the art style. I love a cutesy wootsy little like ditzy witsy like sweet anime situation. This one is called A Star Brighter Than the Sun. Very good. Yeah, very, very good. Just very, I don't know. It's just so sweet. It's just sweet, and I'm obsessed. So yeah, Star Brighter Than the Sun. It's on Prime. I think there's only like 3 episodes out right now. And that's okay, because you know what? I will be tuning in. Like, I'll be tuning in. Loving that. Moving into obsessions. Solar opposites. Ugh. Love solar opposites. If you have not heard of or seen Solar Opposites and you like any sort of animation, like adult animation, whatever, like it's by the, or even if you don't, honestly, because I feel like it's just good enough. Similarly to Rick and Morty, I feel like it is just good enough that it can kind of cross under the radar of people who are just interested in science fiction or just interested in like slapstick comedy or just interested, like all of the different categories that it's considered. I feel like it could go into any of those things and not just be considered like adult animation. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you're into that, very good. It's on Hulu. It's done by the same people who did Rick and Morty, which, like, there was like a whole other thing, and it has gone through like all of these changes and whatever, but arguably has remained like pretty great. I think actually, and not even just Solar Opposites, because I think Rick and Morty also suffered from this as well, but I actually think like one of the creators just got canceled, obviously, and for some like actually cancelable like crazy shit. If I remember correctly, I think it was literally like domestic violence or something like that. So yeah, he got canceled and they had to kind of restructure the show and change the show, and it was still great. But where they have me just a little bit fucked up is they just ended it, period. Like they literally, it was just happening, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, series finale. And I was like, okay. And for those who don't know, the premise is about like an alien family who crash land on Earth, basically. And yeah, it was so weird because it's like the first 2 episodes of this last season, I guess this last season, were just giving very standard fare, and then all of a sudden they were like, okay, like we're kind of just prepping for the end, like we're closing all of these doors, and now we're and they like do a thing in the show where they break the fourth wall, and it just felt very rushed, and I was irritated. So yeah, but then the way that they ended it was so weird because they're like, someone's gonna pick this, like they literally I think directly say like maybe someone will pick this up or no one will, like some shit like that, and I'm just like, okay, like obviously there's something else going on that we're just not privy to, and I know production is like finicky, and I know that the industry is struggling right now, but yeah, that shit irritated me. However, outside of how annoying this last season was, Solar Opposites, love them, was geeked when I saw that it came out because I just finished watching Hazbin Hotel for the second time, and I was like, okay, like I can't just keep watching this same shit, and I do have to wait until October 29th for the season, or for the second season to come out. So yeah, I guess I can just watch something else like in the meantime. That something else ended up being Solar Opposites. Also this week, obsessed with Tame Impala. Like I am obsessed with Tame Impala, and for like I have had, and I can't remember if I've said anything about this yet, but I have just had a weird journey with music recently, and I have really, really not been listening to like any music just because like I can't. Like I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't feel, it just doesn't, like nothing is hitting my ears or my spirit. And usually like when I'm, I guess looking, I don't know. Actually, I think the lore behind, I feel like what my music struggle is that I think I spent so many years trying to curate a specific taste in music for the sake of other people, that now that I'm not doing that, I am struggling to figure out what I like and what I don't like, you know what I mean? And I think being outside of, you know, like whatever echo chambers that I've been in where my friends and I all have the same music taste or into the same things or blah, 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 whatever, like it's just been kind of hard, and I'm thinking about other things. I'm not thinking about rebuilding my music taste from scratch, you know what I mean? But that being said, some shit that I do fuck with really seriously actually is Tame Impala, and I think he like with this new album might be like slowly like reawakening my spirit to music, low-key, because it's not even just this new album, but like listening to that and then also his old stuff, like it's just always such a journey listening to Tame Impala. But I feel like in particular this album is just a little different. Like it feels less like I'm trying to create music for like the psychedelic experience, like that, because that's what he usually gives, is like I'm just trying to create music for this like very specific experience that I know like people have, and whatever. And this time it felt more like a personal journey. And I think one thing that I will say is that lately when it comes to music, I've been really invested in music where you can tell that it is a direct representation of like people's personal journeys. And so I think because of that, that's why I like this, because you can like hear it and like feel it. You know what I mean? When someone is making music with purpose versus when someone is not, you just can, you know, like, and I mean purpose. I don't mean like purpose, you know, like, so yeah, if this album feels very purposeful and like I like it so far. I think the like two first tracks I like. Dracula is like cool. There's Loser is like cool. I don't know. There's like I think I'm like 50-50 on it right now, but it definitely is like waking something up. That being said though, Blood Orange, Essex Honey, that shit, talk about an emotional journey, a personal journey, just like, oh my goodness, every single track and every single thing about it from the first time, like, and I knew, because I love Blood Orange, but when I laid eyes on the album cover, it just like the album art already is so like charged and just like specific of an experience and specific of an image, and it's this young like black boy in the UK. It's just freaking tea. It's just tea. That shit is tea. And I knew it would be when I first saw the album art months ago. Like I just knew it would be. But like just looking at that and then listening to the music and then that opening track, Look at You, oh my goodness. Like just like the first like the sounds are just like ethereal and emotional, and it just made me emotional listening to it. And the whole album feels like extremely emotional music. It feels like a love letter. It feels like a tribute. It feels like an ode, like an homage. You know what I mean? Like it literally just feels, it feels so many different ways just to listen to it. So Essex Honey by Blood Orange, would recommend if you're kind of maybe in a headspace to, because I will say to me it feels very melancholic, but I also, you know, I can admit that I'm more emotional than most. I cried, but like, again, I will say like I think I'm more emotional than most. But if you're in a mood for like that music, or if it's an overcast day and you just want to put some shit on and turn your speaker all the way up and feel, that's what it's giving. So yeah, loving that. Loving that. As far as books go, oh my gosh, Strange Houses, crazy, so good. And actually, I don't know, like this style of writing is just so interesting. There's two books actually. There's Strange Houses and there's Strange Pictures, and they're by the same author. I don't remember the author's name. And I don't feel like looking it up right now, but gosh, like so interesting. And basically how the author structures this work is they start by introducing, for example, like Strange Houses. Because I literally, when I tell y'all, like I sat down and I read that shit before lunch. Like I started reading it before Pilates, went to Pilates, came back, finished it before lunch. Like that was how my day went yesterday. Read it all in basically one go. And it starts by showing you like these blueprints, and it's just these people speculating. And they're like, what do you think of these blueprints? Like they seem kind of weird, don't they? And they're blueprints for a house. And then from there, it kind of just spirals. And it's really fucking crazy the way that it spirals. Because the whole time you're just like, well, I don't know, like how, like what is true, what is speculation, like what is this, what is that, like this is weird, but they could be making this all up and blah, like it's just so interesting of a storytelling style, especially like just taking something and like it's like we're watching just two people speculate about something. So it's like literally hella like you're watching two fucking true crime like, and this is just an example of what it's like, but like let's say there's two girls who love true crime and they're fucking walking through the park and they fucking see like a mountain of fucking sand. And they're like, oh my gosh, there could be a body under there. And then they just speculate and they like talk about it and their minds like go crazy. That's basically what you're watching. You're just watching two people like spiral essentially over these like house blueprints. But the houses really are fucking weird. And like as it gets, it's just very eerie. And like it was a good like spooky read. If that's what you're into, it's like a mystery. I wouldn't say it's like a thriller, but it's very mysterious and it's like definitely a page turner. When I tell you I couldn't put that shit down, I couldn't put that shit down. And one of the things that I was doing this morning that I had to stop doing to do this was reading this other book, Strange Pictures, which is apparently by the same author, but so much better, allegedly. So yeah, reading that on my Kindle. And it's so good so far. So yeah, those are my book recs this week. Those are my obsessions. So good so far. I'm just like, but I love shit like that. So yeah. Also, still graphic design, which I'm not surprised by. Yeah, not surprised by the fact that I'm still into graphic design because loving that like horribly right now. And honestly, like, I just think it makes sense because I've been doing it for years. Like I said, I think last episode when I introduced the concept of just doing it's been something that I've been doing, but now I'm kind of just trying to take it to a different level. So that's been fun. I'm currently making a logo for my friend and I think it's coming out so cute. But also, I don't know, because like Adobe is making me aggy. So we'll see. If you've dealt with Adobe, then you know that shit is irritating as fuck. And honestly, yeah, like Adobe is making me aggy, so we'll see what... Oh, sorry, what? Oh, you said we're out of time? Oh, okay, sorry, guys. Sorry, my producer just flashed the light at me, so yeah, my imaginary producer in the corner is giving me the light. You know the light that they give when, like, stand-up sets are going over? That's right, no, yeah, I see you, girl. I see you. I see you. Like, yeah, gotta wrap it up. Yeah, so with that, we're out of time and period. That's on self-production and structure because I kept this shit right and tight, exactly as God intended, and period to that. Anyway, yeah, thanks for being here. Love you so much and see you later. Bye.